6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here. Today is the Payson City Council meeting for May 6th, and the time is 6 o'clock. We'll have this meeting opened with prayer, and Councilor Hewlett will take care of that for us.
Our dear gracious eternal Heavenly Fathers, we come before you this evening. We're so grateful for this wonderful city that we live in, for the citizens and for the volunteers that we have and that we watch out and look out for each other. We're thankful for some of the rain that we received lately and hope that and pray that we receive more rain, that we can grow our crops and that we can have nice yards and beauties around us. We ask that thou bless us as a city council and as city staff, that we can make wise decisions and look out for the best interests of all our citizens. And we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Brian. We'll have Emily Otley lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Emily. Okay, moving on, we'll go to C, consent agenda. Number one, approval of the April 15th, 2026 City Council meeting minutes. Number two, approval of the April 29th, 2026 City Council work session minutes. Number three, ordinance amendment to the floodplain management code. Number four, resolution amendment to the interlocal agreement with Utah County for Communities That Care. Number five, resolution approving a sidewalk management maintenance and inspection program. Number six, a proclamation Arson Awareness Week. Number seven, proclamation National Police Week. Number eight, proclamation National Public Works Week. And number nine, proclamation National EMS Week. Council, if there's any discussion on any of these items, liking that, I've ready for a motion. It sounds like we got to.
I do. I just have two things. Emily, on the April 15th, 2026 minutes, it shows that I'm absent and I was there. So if we could just correct that. I think it was only on that first vote and then the rest appeared to be correct. You just switched me and Bob, I think is what happened. So, and then I read into the sidewalk management and maintenance inspection program. Is anyone here able to explain that a little bit more to me, Robert? Or I don't see any of the street guys here, so it falls on you.
I might can. Kent's not here, but I'm up to speed.
Okay, excellent.
I'm not going to say I'm fully up to speed, so ask and let me see if I can answer it.
I'm just curious about how this differs if we didn't have a program before or if
we didn't.
So this is brand new.
Well, we had ordinance.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a program. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is more. Go ahead, Robert.
This is also just to improve our public safety and things like that, but really to, at the behest of the trust, to make sure that we are addressing any issues then and things that can cause a liability on our part, making sure that we're addressing those every year. Brandon has worked really hard to create this policy and get it implemented. And then our Public Works Department, specifically our GIS department with Emma and Joe, they've created this amazing app that all of our workers will be able to go out whenever they know about a lift in the sidewalk or anything like that. They can document it, and that's really the important part, is for us to be able to document the things that we know about and update status. And this app will be able to do all of those things, so it reduces our liability significantly.
We've had a budget for it, but I guess it's more formalized now, right?
We've had a budget for it, but we've not been formal in the procedures that we've gone at. This will document for liability purposes, and it will allow us to maintain in a more expedient way.
Well, and hopefully maintain a more expedient way, strategic way to make the repairs in a timely manner, correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
One of the things that I see coming out of it as we implement it and use it is we may have to find a little more budget money each year for more maintenance of curb and gutter. I think last year we spent, if I'm not mistaken, about 300,000 on curb and gutter, and that was a drop in the bucket.
Correct.
So this will help us identify
But I think the really important part about this is to provide data.
Yeah.
You know, so we can actually understand more about what the situation really is, and then create a strategic plan to move forward.
Well, I want to applaud staff too for, I think the sidewalks have been lifted and leveled a lot more in the last few years than they have in the past. So I think they've done a lot of good work.
They've done lots of good work. So.
Thank you. That answers my questions.
Okay. Any other questions about the consent agenda?
I think that app that they've created, that our staff created, is awesome. I was playing with it today, and I think that is going to be really helpful.
A good
for us.
tool.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Lacking any more comments or questions, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor, I'd make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll
Item
second.
C with all 9 items.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay. Have a motion been seconded. The roll call vote starting with Council Probostgard,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Hewlett,
Yes.
Council Smith.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to D, petitions, Communities That Care Mayor's Youth Recognition Award. And Carl, you're taking over for Shelby, right?
There we go. Okay, great. Mayor's Recognition Award. This award is given to young students who are nominated by their school teachers or administration to the mayor's office through the Communities That Care program. And so we're excited to have these 2 nominees here to receive this award, and the mayor will present their certificates. Again, come up forward as we call your name, and then we'll have you take a minute after I read. You can tell us a little bit about your, or come on up and tell us a little bit about yourself, your name, your grade, your favorite ice cream flavor is what Shelby would like to share. And mine is Mudslide from Tillamook. I enjoy that one. But as much as I wreck on my mountain bike, it probably should be Rocky Road. So the first one, Annabelle Tavort, come on up. Why don't you share a little bit from your school and grade right here?
My name's Annabelle Trevor. I go by Annie. My favorite ice cream my favorite flavor of ice cream is cookies and cream, and I am in 7th grade.
7th grade at Mount Nebo.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Come on up here. Congratulations. Teachers have said Annie is a wonderful student and person. She is kind, thoughtful, and hardworking. She participates in class, asks questions, and helps all those around her. And she is just simply amazing. Annie is everything good. She's positive, a bright light in class. She gives 110% all the time. She listens, participates, and helps others around her. She is extremely hardworking, honest, kind, helpful, dependable, and friendly. She even stops by my classroom to say hi and see how I'm doing through the year. She is a golden human with a very bright future. Great job, Annie. Our next student from Payson Junior High is Betseda Ledesma, if you'd come forward. And you could also share your grade and your favorite ice cream flavor.
Hi, I'm Betsaida Ledesma. I just go by Betsy. My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate chip cookie dough, and I'm in 10th grade.
Great, wonderful. One up over here. Well, teachers have said about Betsy, she is a fantastic student and even a better person. She consistently gives her best effort in everything she does and takes pride in doing quality work. She approaches her learning with determination and a genuine desire to improve demonstrating responsibility, resilience, and determination in the classroom. She is also very future focused, setting goals for herself and working hard to achieve them, demonstrating maturity beyond her years. Betsy is an incredible, dependable, and trustworthy person. Teachers know they can count on her to do the right thing, stay on task, and be a positive example to others. Her strong character and integrity make her a quiet leader among her peers. Great job, Betsy. Would center up. Let's move to the center for a picture, and council, if you'd come down.
Okay, my turn first. 1, 2, 3. Ready? They want to take that. Okay.
Always our favorite part of city council. Recognize these young ladies and gentlemen. Okay, number 2, presentation of youth city council members and oath of office. And I'll be taking care of the oath of office, but we have Dallin Turner, Ian White, Molly Johnson, Ryan Jewell, and Jared Stinson. Yeah, all here?
Mayor, can I take just a minute with
You bet you
with
can.
these? I know we have Ian here. Ian, can you stand? And then we've got Molly as well. And I didn't miss anybody else. No one else is here for new youth city council. Okay. So we have Molly Johnson that's here, and then Ian White as well. Ian's older sister already serves on the youth council. I'm sure that's how he heard about it, but I'm interested to learn how Molly heard about it. But I just want to thank these 2 youth in particular for taking the time to join youth city council. We're going to help you grow. We're going to give you opportunities to lead, to plan, to serve your community. And this opportunity for you looks really good on scholarships and job applications, and will help you for the rest of your life. So thank you for being the kind of youth that could rise to the occasion and help. When Shelby and I started this almost 3 years ago, the former youth city council had fizzled out and died a very slow death. And we are so grateful that with Shelby's help, that Shelby and I were able to resurrect the Youth City Council and give them opportunities. We've been meeting with all the different departments, and I want to thank all of the staff for being so available to help us with tours and explaining what your job is and your expertise to them. So really, thank you both for joining Youth City Council. If you could both please come up to the front, we're going to have Mayor Wright swear you in.
How many are on the youth city council now?
So now we have 15 sworn in official members, and we are going to cap it at this for now to keep it manageable.
Parents, we want to face the city council.
I'll have them face their parents. Let's wait on
Okay, ready? Raise your right hand if you would. Okay, I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Utah, and the laws and ordinances of Payson City, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity. Did a great job. Thank you.
Council, you want to start coming down a little bit?
Yes, and we're going to invite our other youth city council members that are here to come forward for the picture as well. We have our mayor here. You can tell she's the mayor because she wears the hat.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
Big smile. 1, 2, 3.
You all good? Good. Let us shake hands. Congratulations. Come on, Mayor. Come on, Mayor. I need you to shake hands. Yeah, everybody. Trying to get away. Get lazy. Come on, Mayor. Get over there. Okay. Moving on to number 3, public forum. Anyone can speak. The time limit of around 3 minutes. We won't be absolute with it, but please be cognizant of your time. And let us know who you are and come on up and speak with us. Okay, come on up, Sandy.
I'm Sandy Huff. Tonight I'm representing Payson Lions Club. A number of years ago, members of the Payson Lions Club put together a directory for the cemetery. And each year since then, we, with the help of Payson City, provides us the names, and we get the directory updated every year. And we just wondered if it would be possible for us to put a plaque up there that said sponsored by Payson Lions Club, or some sort of recognition up there by the book. Is this the right place to ask? I don't know.
I don't see of any reason why not. Robert, is there anything restricting that from happening? Council, sound good? Wonderful.
Okay,
We solved it.
we can just get a little something. And okay, thank you very much.
Probably have somebody review it before it's put up.
Yeah, could we do this?
Do you want us to do it?
Yeah, review it by the sexton that's up there. I think
Yeah.
that would be appropriate
Okay.
before it's attached, and they can let you know how.
You don't want us to just go nail a hole in the wall up there?
Well, that might have worked, but no, we'd rather not.
That's not the
Okay.
preferable method.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll get help.
Okay, thank you. I think I know what you're going to do.
Well, I'm up here to rant and rave. No.
Identify yourself, though,
All right.
if you're going to
Yes.
rant and rave, especially.
There you go. My name is Ty Jones. I am a local business owner that started a nonprofit downtown called Historic Downtown Payson, and have been helping alongside with the city and the citizens for about 9 years. And we've gotten to the point where we can hire a director. And tonight, mayor, council, citizen, staff, I want to introduce you to our new director, Rhonda. And Rhonda, I'm putting you on the spot. Rhonda Hare, maybe you know her. She has served this community in a lot of many capacities, and so she's definitely qualified. Many of you know her, but hopefully you'll get to know her. And she's just a great, wonderful lady, and she's very on point with everything. Couple things I want Rhonda to do, and Rhonda, I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but
She better have known that she was going to be on the spot.
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, just share a little bit about yourself and your background, but if you wouldn't mind kind of including things we're working on with the Innovation Center on the 14th, and this new website, and some of our goals with First Fridays and stuff like that, and anything you want to share.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here. I just went to my Nebo School District retirement luncheon today. So I've spent 27 years working for Nebo School District, and I'm excited to have something else to look forward to that I don't think is going to stress me out. So I'm super excited about that. I have worked with the chamber for over 10 years, so very familiar with a lot of the businesses and many of you. We raised our family here in Payson. We moved to Payson in 84 and left just 10 years ago, this less than 10 years ago, to move to Salem to get a home that could fit all of our family in. So my days of Payson Main Street were Rose Bakery and the Honey Boys. That, that memory will never go away. And the park and the band concerts, all of those things I love. Many of you that I know, I've known you for a long time and have a great deal of respect for you and look forward to working with you. And all the activities that Ty mentioned, I've already got people emailing and texting me saying, I can help with First Fridays, I can help with another activity. So super excited for the opportunity and willing to do what it takes to really revitalize downtown as much as we can and work together and really grow the community that we already have here.
Good. Just so you know, Rhonda and the public and council, we had Congressman Burgess Owens here yesterday, and he took a tour of downtown Main Street. It was kind of a really quickly put together meeting. It was, 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes.
20.
Yeah, 20. It was wham bam. It really was. But he was very, very impressed with what has happened on Main Street.
Yeah, it's a beautiful environment and excited to have more people aware of it so they can come and visit and stay.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Rhonda.
Yeah, we're excited to have Rhonda, but just a couple of things that helped us be able to get Rhonda as a director for our downtowns. We use some of the park fund from the city's park fund and also the state Main Street program. We got a grant from them too. So those are two organizations that we're grateful for to help us with this.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Ty.
Yes, thank you, Ty. Okay, moving. Oh, come on up. You bet.
Thank you. My name is Wes Bott, and my wife Elise is here with me. So thank you for giving us a quick moment here. I'm just here to speak on behalf of the residents of those adjacent to the address 195 East, 400 South. That is it's a residential home that is being operated very much like an event center. And so it is adjacent to Parkview School as well, and the frequent events are causing a lot of congestion. There's being advertised as a wedding venue. It does not have the parking that is required for such a venue. Leads to a lot of congestion and also just a lot of party atmosphere in the neighborhood that from what we understand is not permitted at that site. And so we were asked to just come and report on those activities, and they do happen quite regularly, especially during the summer. It's oftentimes at least once a week. And so I don't know what else goes from that, but just here to report to the council on that and ask that existing regulations be upheld and monitored. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Appreciate.
Sorry, can I add? It is owned by Randy Eves. They have lived there for a long time. They currently do not live there. There is a casita, sorry, not a quesadilla. Totally different. A casita that they come and live part-time as they kind of show the house. It's listed on the Airbnb website as a family reunion, wedding reunion. I mean, it is spelled out that way on the Airbnb website. I have contacted Airbnb website. They said that they cannot enforce anything upon that. They just allow people to do that. It's up to the owners and the city to monitor that it is run as an illegal business. It is a wedding venue and it is operated as a wedding venue. a few years ago, they wanted to put an event center in on that property. The city council did allow them to build an event center, and
There
if
was
they-
nothing built there at the
No.
time.
No, there is nothing built. They have not received funding for that event center. They have sold the adjacent properties to our house that was allowed for parking for that event center, but they have found loopholes to still run an event center out of that. It is very much a nuisance. It's not just the parking. They block off their personal property so cars cannot park on their property, but are forced to use the street. So it's a narrow street. There's very little sidewalk on that street. If we pull our camp trailer out, we can't get it back into our property on the weekends. It is every weekend. Councilman Rowley has gone by and seen it. We've been in contact with him, but I know you guys have sent letters to them, and we would just like it to be enforced. I don't know how to be enforced. I don't know what fines can be issued, but it is very much a nuisance. I mean, you're missing out on revenue by allowing it because it is every single weekend, if not during the weekdays. So
Well, we can certainly look into see if there's some violations occurring there.
Well,
Okay.
Robert, when they'd sent the email, then I don't know if it was you or Dave that had said that you were gonna, is there any update on that? That,
So we've been in contact with them to establish what is permitted. A single family residential unit is permitted there. But it's not that. So we're working with them to understand exactly what the
Okay.
magnitudes are and all.
So
Sounds like the
typic-
process is going as we speak.
I have a question though. So typically weddings go till 8 or 9. Is that when their parties end?
No, 10,
I mean,
11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
It's outside. It's not an inside venue. It is outside with speakers and alcohol is getting served, trash is getting dropped on. I mean, it's,
So if
They-
alcohol is
they
getting
just-
served, they don't have an alcohol.
I don't
license.
know.
I
But
don't know.
I-
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
there's just
it's-
been, I mean, there's
it's-
times where there's beer cans in our yard.
Yeah.
So I assume
That's
that's
not-
where they're coming
It's
from.
private property. They can
So-
do certain things on
Yeah.
private property,
Right.
Yeah.
including alcohol. They just can't spill out onto the city streets.
But,
right.
But if they're
but
advertising
if trash
it as
kind
a
of ends up on
business,
my yard, then.
Well, we'd have to have
that's-
proof of that as well. But
Right.
it sounds like that from what Robert's saying, this is something, it's an ongoing investigation of it.
It's involved, this department's involved.
Perfect.
oh, good.
That's all we ask.
Okay.
So,
Good.
Robert,
Thank you so much.
I
You bet.
have a
Yep.
question.
Oh,
Um,
go ahead.
I was on the council when we approved that entire property
Mhm.
as the wedding place, right?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
How long does that approval last? Jill, somebody help me. Isn't it?
Sorry,
Before they
if I
go
can
in-
I think they had like maybe a year or two to get that property built. And then after that, it was to go back into zoning of a residential property.
So that
But-
property is zoned residential.
Right.
Permitted use there is.
No.
I think the council approved the use of that pending the appropriate amount of
Parking.
Parking. Yep.
And there's
Yep.
3 building lots that they had
Purchase.
obtained ownership of through the school district.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that would permit them to have the amount of spots for an event center. There's a house on one of those lots now.
Yeah.
And there's at least one other owner of one of those lots that has yet to build on that property. But from what
I think
parking
that's-
was-
They sold the
parking was one
lots.
of
I
the
think
major
that's
sticking
where-
points.
I think that's where it went to the point where it wasn't feasible because they couldn't come to an agreement on the parking issue with Parkview Elementary.
So-
So,
Okay.
There was a request. It's on the property back in 2020.
Mhm.
That request basically died.
Yep.
There was no further action on that. So,
Yep.
again,
so we'll get everything clarified.
Took me a minute to remember what property it was, but I know that
Okay.
it wasn't approved.
Okay, well, thank you very
Yes,
much.
thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you,
Thank
Wes and
you.
Elise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody online? Emily? Okay. We'll go ahead and move on to number 4, staff reports. Any of our staff would like to address us, we'll certainly be willing to listen. Janine's not here, so she's not coming up.
I'll fill in. I don't want to lengthen this meeting, but there are a few things that I wanted to go over. First of all, I just wanted to recognize that last night I was able to attend the Santaquin City city council meeting where they honored Sergeant Bill Huger. It was a wonderful tribute and everything, but I just wanted to shout out to Kinda. She's a valued member of our staff, and we're so grateful for her continued efforts to Payson City and the dedication that she has. And it was a wonderful opportunity for her family to be honored. And as Payson City, we just want to extend our support to Santaquin, to the Huger family, everybody. So it was a great opportunity.
Robert, while you're on that, what's the status on changing that road to his name? That 198? Do you know?
I
Did they
do
bring
not
that
know
up?
the status of that, but I can find out. Just a couple follow-up items. Wanted to extend appreciation to Michael. He followed up on Councilmember Rowley's request about the Beck's Place parking. That, as of this morning, wasn't open, but they're going to take care of it either today or tomorrow. So there will be direct access to the corner so people can use the crosswalk there, which is a great suggestion.
Yep.
And appreciate that effort. Today we had our UDOT meeting regarding the interchange. We also had a quarterly meeting with UDOT today, so that was good. But just wanted to update the council on a few things. Work continues to go forward on the interchange. Drainage is always a continual issue, and they're figuring that out. There was an interesting statistic mentioned, though, that design of the project is about 80% complete. Work with the railroad is about 20% complete, so we'll have to adjust accordingly. I also, after that meeting, went to a government affairs meeting with the HBA, which is always a fun event. I just sit back and listen to the bickering that goes on there. But a couple items that I think the council should be aware of, and staff. There is a big push to get cities to re-examine the amount of water that we require at development. Currently, Payson City, we have a lot of water right in our city. Based on our city, we are doing very well with that. But there is a push from the development community and also the farming community to get cities in general to reduce the amount of water that they're requiring for development. And so there'll be, I'm sure, more studies to come on that, and additional information. The other big thing from that was the Home Builders Association continues to push the privatization of building inspection. I still haven't figured out this whole issue. The comment that I made on this one today was, it seems like they're trying to go buckshot for a sniper, what they really need. But we have already allowed private inspectors. We utilize private inspectors in our practice. And so that is a solution in search of a problem, in my opinion. And then finally, I know that the council is really good about shouting out to staff. I wanted to do the same. We have such amazing, dedicated employees, and it's my privilege to work with them. And I see them doing all sorts of amazing things. The other night, I passed North Main Street, and I saw the top of Cam and Bryson's head poking out from working on a water line. I see the police department and the fire department, public works, planning and zoning, police department, everybody. We just want them to know how much we appreciate them and what a good job they do. So thank you.
Just adding to that too, I'd like to give a shout out to Ken Fowden. He's our street superintendent. Although this is a state project, he is involved in helping citizens understand it. I watched him down there today.
Yeah, perfect opportunity to partner with UDOT to make North Main Street improved. So thanks, everybody.
Robert, did I hear that the UDOT our interchange, and that has a new project manager?
That's correct.
Okay, and what's that person's name?
His name is Stephen Loveland. Thank you.
Stephen
Loveland.
Okay, and it used to be Eric Rasband, and he's no longer the president.
Eric's still involved. He's still. It's mainly a shifting of projects for workload.
Okay, very good.
Eric's
Thank you.
not going away. He reassured that today, but
Yeah.
Stephen will be there.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Carl.
Mayor and council and public, I just wanted to share a few things. First, I don't know how many made it to the Cinco de Mayo. I had to leave a little early last night, but it was a great success. Started out rainy, stayed cold through the night. However, it filled up as time went on. Even some of the food vendors actually went out of their trailer or truck and went and borrowed food from another one and sold it out of theirs because they sold out of food. So that was good. But a big shout out to Janine, the park staff, the facilities staff for helping to support that and get that going. And to our community members, a specific thank you publicly to Ruben and Yunin Jimenez, who have coordinated that event and brought in a lot of good talent to share with our community. Just so you know as well, our adult co-ed volleyball season ends next week. We'll have a tournament at the end of the season. Our youth baseball program, you've seen a lot of things going. Some of that's private. Our leagues will start beyond practices next week with our games and things like that. Our pool is close to opening. We should have an inspection next week on the pool, and then the following week we'll have our soft openings with some elementary schools before school's out and give some appreciation days there for them. And a big thank you as well to our pool manager, Seth Cowie, and our facilities department, specifically Daniel as well. They've done just a fantastic job this spring getting things ready there. And then lastly, just for your information, our Centennial Dance Program will be doing its end of the year recital at the high school this Saturday from 6 to 8. And this marks the 30 years of Centennial Dance in Payson. We have several hundred girls that participate in that each year, and that'll be a fun finale. They're not ending, it's just the end of the year. They'll keep going 31, 32, and more. April Jones, of course, has been involved with that from before the beginning of Centennial with the name, but she had taught for probably a year and a half before the name of Centennial Dance came. So just want to let you be aware of that. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Carl.
Any other staff? Okay, not seeing any. We'll start with the council reports. Lacey, go ahead.
Okay. I had someone reach out to me on Facebook. They used to be on the park committee, and they were asking first if the money that they set aside back then for a dog park was still sitting waiting for a dog park. And I said I'd ask. But the main reason why is they live near the cemetery. And I guess the cemetery is the new Payson dog park. And so they were pretty upset about it. And especially, they said that they see their families grieving there and such. And there's dog residue everywhere, especially where it's still really open and there's not graves there. So they were just wondering what we could possibly do to help out in this situation and then find out. And I told her that dog park talk has been in the works, but nothing yet. So
Lacey, that money is no longer there. It'd have to be applied for again.
okay. And then just, yeah.
Is that it? Okay. Brian.
Yeah, I just have a few things. One is going back to the sidewalk management and maintenance plan. Just have to kind of throw a shout out to Brett Christensen, who used to be on the city council. He's the one that really pushed to get this in the budget every year to improve our sidewalks. So give a shout out to him. On May 14th at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m., we're going to have at the Innovation Center, we're going to bring the downtown businesses to the Innovation Center, introduce them to that and help. So we just try to help our downtown businesses be successful. And then on June 13th, that's when we're going to have a Adventure Day. So put that on your calendar. We're going to have, goes along with our Home to Adventure branding. So put that on your calendar. It'll be a great time. And just thank all the staff for all the hard work. And it looks like we have a lot of donuts going to be around this next week with all the resolutions we passed for the fire and EMS and everybody else. So have donuts on the city. So, okay, thank you.
Hey, Brian.
Brad, I'm not so stereotypical. If you want something else besides donuts, let us know. You know, we don't want to. It's 2026. We can change.
No, donuts are perfect.
I really want to thank all of the staff and the department heads, especially this time of year as it's already budget season and we're looking at the tentative budget again tonight. Thank you for your consolidated, considerate effort on those numbers. They really matter. They're not just numbers on a page. This represents hard-earned money by us as the city, and more importantly, as the residents that we put to use. So thank you for crunching the numbers and trying to just be as frugal as you can, but still being as professional as you can. Your departments too. I really appreciate it. So thank you, department heads. Thank you to the council and the mayor. I love serving with each of you. I really do. Thank you for all you teach me and all the experiences we're able to share as we serve this city. So thank you. I'm grateful that Wes and Elise Bott stopped by. I have been in contact with them for quite some time about the reception center across the street from their house. I have driven by several times. It is truly a problem. They're not over exaggerating. It is a full blown reception center. And so I just asked Brad and Robert and Brandon, if he's here over the airwaves somewhere, that we please find a quick solution for that to make that neighborhood feel like a neighborhood again instead of a reception hall. So I do want to thank, and Brad, I hope you can pass this along for me, our sweet crosswalk lady that's just right here by Taylor Elementary. I drive past that every day on the way to work, and the other day next to our yellow Tabitha's Way boxes, it's a Tabitha Way box, it's a DI, it's a dump, it's all in one, and you guys want furniture, just go right there. I'm to tell you. But she had a busy day of getting those kids across and smiling and waving to all the kids and every car that drives by. And then there was a bunch of trash laying by the Tabitha's Way boxes, which is pretty common. But she was over there picking up the garbage. She had sacks and she was picking it up, putting it in the dumpsters. So thank you for going above and beyond and for being that kind of person to care that much about our city. And that's an uphill battle right there with that. But I'm thankful for her for what she did. So Brad, will you please let her know that her good deeds go noticed? Thank you. The next thing Carl reminded me about the pool. I love Payson Pool. That was so far ahead of its time and out of character for Payson City when it was built, because it was so nice and so big and still is. And I'm thankful for those that made the decisions to use that pool. My family patronizes it all the time. And I do love Payson City Pool. Thanks to all the staff that work there and the Herculean effort that it is to get all the lifeguards every year. Thank you, Carl. And the last thing, I do want to plant a few trees. I don't want to say seeds. I want to plant a few trees here of ideas. It's America's 250th birthday, and this wonderful country, this wonderful experiment is 250 years strong, and I want to see it continue. And I just hope we're making some efforts in Payson to remember and commemorate that. And I do see one of my favorite people, the sweet Payson band concert here. The concert's in the park, and I did want to plant a seed with both you and with the mayor of, I wonder if our band concert that's close to the 4th of July, if we could do some sort of special patriotic night. Maybe that's already a plan. Excellent. What and maybe even include the Payson Civic Chorale to sing National Anthem, America the Beautiful, something like that. And then the other idea I have, Mayor, is for the mayor's prayer breakfast for Labor Day. I wonder if we transition that this year to an America's 250 prayer breakfast and do more of a patriotic theme and maybe honor some local hometown Payson heroes for that. And that's for our Labor Day celebrations. We have time, but those are two 250 commemoration ideas I'd like to see happen this summer. And any residents or staff that have other ideas, please chime in and let me know. Email me, shoot me a text, call me. We need to make this year special as we celebrate America's 250th birthday. Thank you. That's all I have.
Colleen, would you verify for me? I did talk to Kenton just yesterday. The first band concert will be the 28th, Sunday the 28th of June. Okay, wonderful. We'll look forward to that date. Okay.
Okay, I just have a couple of things. I had fun attending the Cinco de Mayo activity last night, and good food, good music. It was really fun to see people there, and I think it's a great event. I encourage people to go to that. Really good food. Then also, Tracy, I hope you will allow me to say the park, the extension to Jesse Taylor Park on 930 has grass and trees, and it is absolutely beautiful. They even added more trees up towards the corner, and it's coming together. So thank you so much. It looks beautiful, and it's not even done yet. I don't. So, but the grass, oh, and it was already being. I just love driving by it. People are walking that all the time. So thank you so much for making that part of our town even more beautiful. And then, as always, I just want to thank our police department and our fire department and our staff, and how wonderful you guys are to work with, and you take my phone calls and are so patient with me and my questions. And so thank you so much. And that's all I've got.
Okay, Bob.
Thank you. I'll start with the dog park, whoever brought that up. I continue a relentless search for property, and I have 2 properties that I'd like Tracy to go look at with me. I think one or the other is going to be a home run. So I am committed to getting a dog park in Payson. We need a couple, but one would be a good start.
Yep.
And I've got 2 properties that I think we'll go look at, Tracy. So beautification committee has now met twice since I have the opportunity to be with them. We are hitting the ground running hard. Just to let a little bit of cat out of the bag, and we'll be bringing some great stuff forward. We're going to start a Take Pride in Payson campaign. We are currently, the homework assignment for this next meeting is to identify areas, neighborhoods, address that we can focus on, would be the correct word. We are planning on implementing every civic organization, every church organization throughout the community to have some Take Pride days and clean up and fix up and make look nice. We've added one more award for Yard of the Month, and we would be more than happy to hear your suggestions also. The new award will be Most Improved Home, Most Improved. So we'll not only have the most beautiful of the month, but we will also have Most Improved. This is a hard one to talk about, but I want you guys to be aware. I've met with Kent Fowden with the contractors down on North Main project that's currently taking place. UDOT will not allow us to take those steel pipes out of the neighbors' driveways. If we do, it opens up a major can of worms with UDOT, because we would not meet the requirements that UDOT has. UDOT has not given us approval to do that. The only approval they have, and they marked each one of those curbs themselves to tear out and replace. But the steel pipes that run in front of some of the people's homes were placed there by the neighbors, and UDOT will not sign off on allowing us to.
So steel pipes of what, water, or I mean, what do you mean?
Going in and out, meaning it runs their drive approaches. Several of the drive approaches are illegal in UDOT's eyes. They're not approved. They have extended or added another one and put pipe. UDOT wants to address this with the North Main Street project, which will entail a rebuild, right? But the ones that they have identified that we're working on in the sidewalk, they have approved, and the funds that Kent was able to get for that, I think it was 37,000 to do that project with, will fix those curbs that was not allowing flow to run properly. So if you're approached by the neighbor saying, why are you replacing that piece and not tearing out all that pipe? it's UDOT approved, it's UDOT disapproved. We do what UDOT says. They own the right of way, right? They own the road. And the last one is I-2 budget. I've had an opportunity to tear through this thing. I think it's one of your better. I really like what I see. I made some suggestions to Robert, and as we go forward, after we adopt the tentative, we'll see where we get. But thank you. I know there's a lot of time put in this thing, and it reads well. It reads good. There's some tweaks, but for the most part, I like it. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Okay, moving on, we'll go to E, action items. Ordinance review and adoption of the fiscal year 2026, 2027 tentative budget, set a public hearing for adoption of the certified tax rate, enterprise fund transfers, adoption of the Payson City budget for the fiscal year 2026, 2027, and compensation increases for Payson executive municipal officers as defined in the code, annotated 10/3/18. And we'll go ahead and hear from Kathy.
Hey, it's always a struggle for me. I'm not as technically advanced as I should be on this. So we're going to kind of go over the tentative budget that we presented last time. And if you have any questions, again, I go fast, so slow me down, ask questions. First of all, just an overview. This is a conservative budget. There's some uncertainties that we just want to kind of ease into it. Some economic factors we're looking at is the national economy. The cost of doing business is rising. We have high cost of fuel and sales tax. While it's stable for the city, some other cities have expressed that they're kind of concerned with it not coming in as stable as they have had before. The current CPI is 3.3%. So transfers and indirect costs. This is a list of indirect services that we provide. We're also going to send this list out to all the citizens. By law, we have to let them know of any transfers we're going to make. So this is services provided on behalf of the enterprise funds and departments that we charge back. So it's an overhead allocation. These are the transfers. These are operating transfers. They're non-reciprocal, so there's no offsetting transaction that takes place other than the transfer. Traditionally, the city's transferred 9% of sales tax revenue from the enterprise funds. Sorry about that. This year, we're trying to eliminate those transfers, so you can kind of see what we've taken the percentage down from each of the enterprise funds. Some budget highlights. For fiscal year 2027, we propose a budget of $123,373,681 citywide. For funded personnel positions, we're asking that the departments wait until mid-year so we can just see how the economy's going. We don't want any, we just want to ease into it, as I said before. We've added a 4% adjustment to individual wages. 2% of that will be allocated to a COLA, and the balance will be merit. Just a reminder, we do have to contribute to the URS system. This is on top of the wages we pay, so that is a big portion of our budget. Some other budget highlights. Overall, we've given department heads what they've requested in operational budgets because we view it as they're trying to keep their programs going, and they ask for what they need. Just as a note, we might have to roll over the HVAC program project, and that's about $750,000. So that will have a big impact on this budget. We have to do that. And just as a reminder, the tentative budget is statutory. So we kind of adopt that, and then we have the option of working with the council and the mayor and Dave and Robert and be able to come up with your final budget that you'd like to see. Insurance renewal is 3% for liability, 3% for workers' compensation, and employee health insurance is 0% increase. Dental insurance, previously we were quoted at 10%. That's now come in at 1.6%. So it's been reduced significantly. Funded personnel, we're proposing the following new positions. A new police officer with promotional opportunities for 2 other officers, 6 EMTs for the ambulance, a water employee with some seasonal help, some adjustment to a public information officer position, and a GIS position.
Do we currently have a public information officer?
Not a formal one.
So who's the de facto? Who kind of fills that role? Mr. Robert Mills does? Okay.
You're speaking for the city. We do have a PO for the.
And so what are we thinking with that position moving forward?
Just allowing an internal employee the time and effort and resources to actually do that. And so this would be a little bit of shifting to offset responsibility.
Yeah.
Somebody else that's already working. Yeah.
I think it's critical we have one.
Yes,
It's very,
it
very
is.
important position. It's very important in the police department.
Yep.
And that it's not me.
Yes.
So the proposed utility rate increases, we are proposing no utility rate increases this year for fiscal year 2027. In the coming years, the city is going to have to look at rates because we want to maintain the 1.25% required bond coverage. And also the city will have to evaluate funding for infrastructure because we do have aging infrastructure, and the longer we let that wallow, it's going to get worse. In the water fund, we've added an sorry, I can't see my screen. Okay, an amount is going to be transferred from the general fund to allow the 4-bay bond to be covered. The water department is charged with federal lead and copper lateral replacements that have been funded. The city is seeking options through the WIFIA bonding program to fund some water, sewer, and storm drain projects. Right now, those are not in the budget. We'll bring those forward with an adjustment when we're able to fund those. Design for the Main Street CUP project has been funded. In the colored boxes, here's what we have proposed funding, and in the black boxes, those have been requested but not funded yet in this budget. And here's the water fund budget. It's $8,736,000 budget and the offsetting expenses. And impact fees. Now there's been a slight adjustment to the impact fees because Travis has let me know about more developer reimbursements that we're going to have to pay for through impact fees. In the solid waste department, a great deal of the budget expenses of the landfill pertains to the maintenance and improvements of the landfill. In addition to the landfill, the solid waste department handles garbage collection and city snow plowing. The landfill, now, yeah, it just tickles me. The landfill operation costs include $50,000 in seagull mitigation. The landfill is getting additional C&D revenue from school demolitions and other projects bringing materials to the landfill. And they've requested fencing and a 10-wheel dump truck. Now we're going to pay for the body of the dump truck in this current budget year. This rolled over 10-wheel dump truck project will be the sander and attaching it to the body of the dump truck. The solid waste budget is $400,722. And here's the offsetting expenses for that. So the electric power department, large capital projects scheduled, the transmission line primarily through impact fees, the substation primarily through impact fees, the power plant construction and lighting projects. 2027 was scheduled as a third of a 4-year rate increase plan. We're diverting from that plan this year and not suggesting any rate increases. Electric plan payments are made through UAMPS operational billing. UAMPS will recognize the asset until the plant is paid off. A transfer from the general fund will cover the cost of the Utopia payments, which will be complete in 2027. And here's the electric department requesting funded the biggest items there you can see are the impact fee projects for the substation lines and the transmission lines. And the electric power department has a $23,691,000 budget. And here's offsetting expenditures for that. And they do have impact fee power projects that are funding those projects. The sewer department. The sewer department continues with construction of the sewer plant. The sewer department's in a unique position because 64% of operational revenue goes to debt service right now, and that's huge. We will be issuing $5 million bonds to complete the sewer project. And again, the city must maintain 1.25% debt service coverage in the coming years, particularly with the WIFIA funding. The city will be obligated to raise user rates if they can't meet the 1.25% debt service coverage. And as a reminder, debt service coverage is when net revenues must exceed 1.25 times the debt service. And the sewer budget is $26,477,680. And if you can see that 17 million, that's the cost to complete the project. That's the biggest expense right there. And again, we have adjusted the sewer impact fee budget for more developer reimbursements. And this is what has been funded in the colors, and in the black is what has not been funded. It's hard to see that screen. Sorry about that. In the ambulance department, the ambulance is almost at capacity of what they can provide for the city due to available personnel. So the city's looking at future equipment, employees, and a fire station in order to more fully meet the needs of the city. We funded 6 full-time positions. An ambulance was ordered last year, and hopefully we'll be receiving that before next year, and that's through the revolving loan fund. A fire and ambulance impact fee is being updated, and went too far. So they've asked for small equipment to put on their ambulance of $80,000, and they asked for 14 full-time positions. We have funded 6 to try and get that project going. And the ambulance has a $2.1 million budget. In the golf fund, the golf course is currently constructing the Par 3 project. The RV park is reserved out early in the year and has become quite an asset. So the golf department has requested the $2 million for the Par 3, and that's kind of an estimate, and the rail grinder. And the golf fund has a $4.152 million budget. In the storm drain, the primary purpose of the storm drain fund is to help enforce EPA regulations regarding stormwater illicit discharge detection and elimination. The city has allocated $250,000 this year for curb and gutter projects. This is through the CDBG grant. Now, we also fund sidewalk repair in the streets department and the general fund. So there's additional budget in there for sidewalk maintenance. So here is the requested and funded for the storm drain. And it's a 2.3, almost $2.4 million budget, and the offsetting expenditures. In the internal service fund, again, internal services are those funds that are funded by charging other departments for their services. We have the vehicle maintenance and the IT department. This is what the vehicle maintenance department has requested. They would love to get the fuel tanks in, but we're just trying to go a little bit conservative to all the departments this year. And the IT requested and funded. Oh, that worked quite well. Sorry about that. And the internal service funds budgets. The revolving loan fund.
Yes, I did have one question on IT department.
Sure.
What's the $200,000 increase? What is it primarily funding?
Wages.
Wages, because we hired another IT person, correct? Okay, so that's what's eating up most that increase, that change. Okay.
So the revolving loan fund, again, the city has a revolving loan fund to finance new equipment and vehicles. It's funded primarily, the cost of the equipment is expensed in the revolving loan fund, and then we assess amortized loans to all the departments that receive the equipment. and that's paid back to recharge that fund. Vehicle replacement is based on the assessment of the vehicle maintenance director. And this is what we're proposing, replacing this year. Now, what I'm going to suggest to Anthony is that we go a little bit slow. I've heard that the used truck market is slowing down, so we don't want to get ourselves into a bind with that. The revolving loan fund this year is budgeted at $2.4 million. The park tax fund, I know this will be coming up, so I won't cover this, but this is kind of the projects. In addition to the $410,300 that the park tax committee allotted, we put in $10,000 for the park tax election. We're able to put out some informational things, so that'll cover that. In the general fund, sales tax is steady. Building permit revenue is down. As of March, we only showed 15 permits. In previous year, we have transferred excess fund balance from the utility fund to the capital fund. This year, if we have excess fund reserves, we're transferring it directly from the general fund. The net amount, and I try to explain it, is roughly equivalent, but it appears as though we're using a lot more fund reserves. We're not actually expensing additional fund reserves. And hopefully this will kind of illustrate that. If you can see 2026, we budgeted use of fund reserves of $6.6 million. 3.5 of that was a transfer to the capital fund. This year is all, we're proposing it all come out of the general fund. The general fund is comprised of the following funds. You can kind of see those roll up at the end of the year, and you'll see that at the audited financial statements. So funded and requested, I'll go fast on this. So BNC, building maintenance, again, we might have to roll over the HVAC program if that doesn't get, or project if that doesn't get done. The engineering department, the parks department, the fire department, the library, and the police. And again, with the fire department, we are suggesting that for the big ladder truck that might be financed outside of the city itself and get an external loan. That's a little extreme for us to self-fund right now.
Chief Bishop, how are we doing on the dog fundraiser? Where are we at there? Good? Awesome.
I might mention, we've had a group approach me. They want to do a fundraiser and maybe help a little bit with the dog, and also maybe with some equipment. So awesome. We're working with them on that.
And I've seen some residents on corners selling lemonade and like good kids trying to help you out. So
recreation department, the streets department, the pool, the senior center, the cemetery, and the petite neat. So the general fund budget is $32,478,000, and the offsetting expenses for all the departments are listed here. The redevelopment agencies, now when we bring the budget forward, of course, this is a separate motion to go into a separate session to approve this. But the redevelopment town is used basically for the Walgreens Economic Development Agreement that will be done in 2028. The redevelopment business park is the innovation center. And you'll see that in the improvements in the business park, we've put some landscaping funding in there. And it's represented right there. So just a reminder, your motion tonight to adopt the tentative budget must set the time, date, and place for transfers, salary increases, public hearings, budget adoption, and certified tax rate. And here's what we propose is June 17th at 6 o'clock for the adoption of the budget.
Okay. I had one question. On the third or fourth slide, the budget had changed from 122.9 to 123 something.
That is the difference in the impact fee reimbursements that we
The
need to
impact
add.
fee reimbursement. Okay. That helps.
Okay. Council, are there any discussions that we'd like to have?
I would really like to have a work session. I don't think it needs to be very long before this meeting, if the rest of the council's okay with that.
Sure.
Is it?
We can set that any time. I don't care when we set it, but
Yeah,
I would just like.
because we're just adopting a tentative one, and we can do that as well, right?
Once we adopt it, then we can.
Then we can do that.
Start massaging a little bit.
Yep.
Okay. So Council, are you okay with having a work session to kind of finalize?
Just, we'll have to decide later when.
Yep.
Okay.
So I just have a couple of things. One is on the RDA funds for the business park. We have quite a bit of funds there, and the money came from the business park. I'd like to make sure that we keep the roads up to date. I think we need to just do some slurry seal and a few things like that. Put that in the budget, and also I'd like to see entrance signs to our business park. Another thing is the golf, the par 3. Just clarify that, I think, a little bit, make sure I'm right, is that we already have the funds for that because they've already earned that money. There is no new taxes going into this. It's already been earned by the golf course, so it's just going to be another amenity in our golf area.
So it doesn't affect our general fund. It's money that's already been generated through the golf course itself.
The golf course is self-sustainable.
Yep. Right.
More than.
Yes.
Okay, and then the last thing is just on our debt service. It looks like that we're the pool and sewer taxes are up this year, so that's going to free up quite a bit of funding. And also, I don't quite understand the Wilson School as a bond. One of the reasons I thought we purchased that for $1 million and it has 2.7 here, and then it shows as a bond. But aren't we just paying the school district? And was it 2.4?
2.4, I think it
Seven?
was.
0.7 was.
2.7.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
one year.
Okay. Thank you.
I had one more question and a few statements. But first, my question: Have we funded anything for enough about a dog park, a human park, the human park we have, the memorial park? Have we funded anything for a new playground for this year?
Yes.
It's in the budget. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure that's hot on our minds. That's an important thing to get done. And then, I just want to reiterate to the residents that this budget is about 5% less than the one we had last year. And so we are trying to be very conservative, very good with the funds that you give us. We take this serious. We scrutinize it. We ask the department heads to scrutinize it. They have. And then, as you saw, this council has no intention of raising any utility rates this year. We know it's tight. We know it's hard. And so we're going to pinch the pennies where we can so we don't have to pass that along to the residents. And that is important to this council right now.
I think that's very important that we do that.
Yep. And it is also important, though, that we provide a reliable system for our residents. And so we're not going to let that get dilapidated either and then do a 90% increase either. We're going to watch this and adjust it as it needs to be adjusted, but be very mindful about it.
Any other comments, council? Okay, then I'm ready for a motion.
This is a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good one, and just remind everybody, it's been said before, this is a tentative budget.
Yep.
And we are going to be setting, according to our requirements, a public hearing for the finalization of the budget.
So I can make a motion that we adopt the physical budget for the tentative physical budget for 2026-27. And we'll set the public hearing for June 17th, 2026 at 6 p.m. to adopt the certified tax rate, the enterprise fund transfers, and the compensation of executive officers.
And I will second with the addition that meeting will be held at the Payson City Council chambers.
Okay, good. Okay, I have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Provost.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowland.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Smith.
Yes.
Could we set a work session, Robert? Probably the off Wednesday before that.
If we have a light meeting sometime, we just do it during that instead of having a whole separate.
But we got to post it.
Right.
Well, we've got time though.
Right.
We've got time. So staff, if you'll just watch that and
The 3rd? June 3rd?
June 3rd or the 3rd? June 3rd.
That's okay.
Sounds good to me.
We don't have to do anything that we just, Susan noted that.
Emily will set it. She'll put it on the
Yeah,
agenda.
We'll put that on the agenda for the next council meeting.
Appreciate that.
Okay, council, thank you. We'll go on to number 2. Resolution consideration for adoption of resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not more than 5 million aggregate principal amount.
Mayor, can you turn your microphone on?
I thought it was thought it was on. I'll start over. Okay, number 2, resolution, consideration for adoption of a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not more than 5 million aggregate principal amount of sewer revenue bond series 2026 and related matters. Kathy.
Hey, I'm going to introduce this. We also have Brian Baker here. He's our fiscal agent for all our bonds and all our information, and he's wonderful to work with. So basically what this parameters resolution is asking for $5 million to complete the sewer plant. Originally in 2022, we set a parameters resolution for not to exceed $70 million. Currently our bonds are $64,840,000. And that's what we've issued so far. So technically we've actually got the $5 million under the original parameters resolution. But as the bond attorneys reviewed this, they thought that too much time had passed since we passed that original parameters resolution. So they wanted it brought back to the council to reinstate that they're okay going forward with the additional $5 million.
So we've already approved it once. We just, because of the time period, we're just approving it again.
So as proposed, it'll be a 21-year bond. The annual debt service will be about $385,000. Now, this will depend on the closing rates and things like that, but this is kind of what is estimated. Right now, it's estimated to be about 4.5%. Brian?
No, wait, I didn't hear that. Does that include the 1.25% that we're required for debt service?
So that's a separate analysis that we have to do to make sure that we have bond coverage. We have to have 1.25% of revenue over the debt service.
Right.
So this is just for the bonds.
So that 385,000 a year does not include the 1.25.
Right now it is included in there.
It
Yes,
is
it's
in-
included
okay.
in the current
That's what I wanted
budget.
to know. Okay.
Yeah, the WIFIA bonds, we're going to have to reevaluate and make sure that we're good on that. But right now the 385,000 is in the current budget for the new
And
bonds.
yeah, to reiterate, this proposal can be met with the current sewer utility fees.
Right.
Yep.
All right, quick question for Brian. So are bond rates going up or down? I've heard they've been going up a little bit, so.
10-year treasury rate got as high as 4.5%, and it was about that a couple of days ago. Now it's like 4.35, but we hope that it'll go back down towards 4, and that's when you start to see really low rates again, like we had 3 or 4 years ago. But for right now, the market's really volatile, and so 4.5% is a proxy for where we think we'll be right now, based on when we got that 4.5% estimate. We're probably a little better than that, but as you watch the news, if oil goes to $200 a barrel, that's not good for your borrowing rates. And if they sign a document that says the Iran conflict is over and worry, then that's good.
So how long does it take us to get this bond in place?
So the resolution that you're adopting requires a notice of public hearing and a notice of bond to be issued. So public hearing, I think, is scheduled for June 3rd, and that's just basically in case anybody in the community wants to tell you what they think of the bond. But technically, it's done for private use issues, like people are building a soda shop right next to a Sodalicious. They might want to express their frustration, but as you are a monopoly on providing water and sewer services, I don't feel that it's a big issue. But and then we estimate you'd be closing somewhere around 10th or 11th.
Okay.
So the size of this is such that we asked kind of local banks Of those bonds up there, that $10 million bond and the $41.34 million bond were done by Bank of Utah. So they've got a very large exposure to your sewer debt already. So they are a very likely purchaser, simply because they already know your credit and are very comfortable with it. And any other bank would have to say, they realize that some other bank holds a lot more of that. But, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, council?
Well, it's more not a monopoly, just a very preferred service here in Payson. We love competition. If somebody wants to spend 70+ million on building a sewer treatment plant, we welcome that. And if you can provide a better service than the city, then have at it.
I may add to this. This is something that the city really didn't have any control over. The state's driving this, so we really have to conform to what we've got.
It's both state and federal
state and
mandates to eject cleaner water than we could have out of our current sewer treatment plant.
Okay.
I don't have a question, but I just didn't know for like legality purposes, the stuff that was in our packet, the distribution list had like incorrect names. So I just wanted to.
I think that's been updated.
Okay.
We've been
Just the
working-
last that I saw. So I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. Then if we're good with the information we've heard, I'm ready for a motion from the council.
Mayor, I motion that we approve the adoption of a resolution authorizing the issuance and sale of not more than $5 million aggregate principal of sewer revenue bond series 2026 and related matters.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Smith.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Moss.
Yes.
Council Probostgard.
I was in conversation while you went to a motion.
Oh, do you have something you wanted to add before we?
You've got a motion on the floor, so I can't legally say what I wanted to say.
Okay.
So I'm going to vote no because I wanted my question answered.
Okay.
Since I voted no and we're done.
Still ask a question.
We don't need to pay the contractor off till the end of the year. Is there prudence in waiting? I think the consensus is that interest rates are going to lower sometime between now and September or October, and we could save ourselves a few $100,000. Now I know nobody's got a crystal ball, but why do we need to do it right now if we don't need to pay the contractor until the completion of the project, which is the end of the year?
Well, I think.
I have an educated answer for that.
An educated guess here. I think we're kind of going off the engineer estimates and they're progressing rapidly. So we thought would be a good idea to get moving on this. And Travis not here to answer any formal questions about the engineering or the project, but that's my understanding.
Last I checked, it was November. That was last week, Robert. Oh, sorry. That was last week. That the statement was they would be completing in November.
They're going to be doing ongoing draws.
I guess one thing is we're passing this, but they don't have to do the bond. They can work with the city to see
Sounded
when
like we wanted to complete it by June 3rd.
Well, that's when they said they could complete it, but as far as staff can look at it and see.
And it's not a balloon payment at the end. They pull draws as
Right.
they go.
I get that part, but the final draw could be $5 million.
Correct.
It could be.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and while you're coming, I just want to make mention I do shy away sometimes from playing those games because it could backfire too. There's always that risk.
I mean,
right?
it's not a crystal ball, but
yeah.
even go ahead.
I apologize for being underdressed. I came from a meeting in Park City, and they will tar and feather you if you wear a tie. And so this is a much
You're
better
good.
put together group down here.
You're good. I've got Levi's on too.
Sharp dressers. I just wanted to say, we always tell people that we are not prognosticators. Otherwise, we'd be doing something else and we'd be, retired on a beach somewhere. But I can honestly say that in the last year, I have had at least 3 clients who had the opportunity to refinance debt and save a bunch of money. And they said, well, this was, like last fall. Well, the Fed is going to decrease rates 6 times next year. So let's wait because rates are going down.
Right.
And now rates are way up and they can't do those refinancings anymore. And so that is the risk. And so we've always told people, like, as Kathy pointed out, on your sewer, like more than 60% of every revenue that comes in goes towards paying debt service. And so if the 385 works or somewhere around there works and you know that it works, then you're just taking a risk one way or another. You're either saying, okay, it works, and if rates go down a little bit in the future and we could have saved some money, well, that's too bad. But if the 385 works and you say, well, let's wait and maybe things will be better. And I mean, how the news cycle works. I mean, something could happen. I mean, if there was an American ship blown up in the Strait of Hormuz tonight, that 4.5 would be 6 tomorrow, and then it's like, oh, well, now it's not 385, it's like 425. And that's kind of a big deal. So it's just, on balance, it is, when you decide to borrow, you're either making, you don't use the word bet, but you're basically drawing a line in the sand one way or another. And most of our clients, if it's a project where the amount of the debt service impacts rates and plays into that, they've usually felt, okay, if I'm good with where things are now and I can make it work at this, I might be better off not kind of risking the future that it could be a little better, because if it goes a lot worse, then I'm in a much worse situation.
Yeah. But regardless, we have already passed the motion that is made, and
I just thought, because we get asked
great
about the crystal ball all the time.
Well, it's an an election year. Even though it's an off election, I know there's going to be a lot of push towards the end there that's going to make a party look better than they're looking right now.
We hope so, but I would also say the president's stated goal for the entirety of his second term has been to lower interest rates to zero, as much as possible.
Yep.
And it hasn't worked at all, in both the short-term rates and getting the Fed to cut, that's not working. But then the market controls the longer-term rates, and those have not gone down, those have gone up.
Good conversation.
Yep, it is. Okay, motion did carry, so we'll move on to number 3, resolution, Parks, Arts, Recreation, and Culture, the Park Tax Committee's recommendation on funding projects. Carl, you ready? Appreciate all your hard work.
Sure, you bet. And of course, the committee, we want to give a thank you to the committee. Sarah Ogden will be presenting in behalf of the committee. Colleen Wilson was the other member that was going to be here tonight, and she had to leave early. And so we please excuse her. So
thank you, Carl.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I just wanted to give a quick refresher on what the park tax is. So it is a 0.1% sales tax, voter approved, equating to 1 cent on every $10 used exclusively to fund parks, arts, recreation, and cultural facilities and programs. This is funded by not just Payson residents, but anyone who shops in Payson. So we met last week as a park tax committee and looked over all of the mini grant applications and the city project applications. And right here is the money that we had for this year, totaling $400,500. At the very bottom, there's a note that there was $10,000 rolled over from last year, a project that was approved. 70% generally goes to parks and rec projects, 20% to mini grants, and then 10% contingency to go either way. Can we go to the next? Okay, perfect. Here are the mini grant applications. Do you have any questions looking at it? Or would you like to just gloss over real quick?
I think just let us gloss and we'll ask if we have any questions.
Okay.
One thing to mention is all these are nonprofit organizations.
That's right. I will make note of the AKG 13 one down there that we did not fund. It is a startup organization, and according to the rules of the park tax, you cannot fund startups.
Startups.
I think so.
It looks like to me you've tried to fund as best as you can what they've asked for, but in some cases got close to that.
Yes, for sure. The applications requested more money than was available. But it is interesting to note about 10 years ago when this tax was implemented, it was projected that we would earn only 182,000 per year for this. So a total of 1.8 million. And we have 400,500
It's
this
a
year.
very good tax. As you mentioned, it's not just funded by Payson City residents, it's those that come in and shop outside of the
Yes.
city.
Okay, thank you. I think we can go to the next page. Here are some of the city projects that we looked over during our meeting. So again, we've tried to fund most things, but a few things were not ready or we thought they'd be better fitting in the city budget. I think this is an old version. It's okay. I'll tell you the differences on this one. So for the planter border on 8th South, that one we are actually funding $6,000 of it. One of the planters. The other, is that the only change on there?
It's already noted the 48,000 on.
48,000. Okay, that was the only change on this. We have a newer version of this. Any other questions? Yes, I hear Brian talking about the playground. The 175,000 is that second half. The first half was approved last year.
Is the flip the strip, is that first? I know it says 0 because the city budget question mark, but I'm just curious for my knowledge. Is that city owned land, like the strips of them?
Yes.
Okay.
That was going to be a city owned. Those two projects were not funded here. Currently, they're not in the budget, but we'll look at ways to do tree replacement and flip the strip as well.
So with the playground, the 350, that surely doesn't cover the whole.
No, there was some
thing.
monies from the general fund already allocated as well for that.
I wish it did.
Do you
but it
remember how
doesn't.
much the total is, Tracy or Kathy?
But it's around 800,000 total.
Yeah.
And we scaled it down. We could literally blink and spend 2 million.
On a playground. Yep.
I see on the library a sculpture. What sculpture are we doing?
Believe this was a musical sculpture, so they want to put a walking path. You know where the parking lot is, right behind the library? They want a little walking path going through where those plants are with some musical sculptures. Was there another one?
Yeah, that's correct. The musical sculptures, they can pound on the flowers and they'll have different tones.
Okay.
They also want to do the mural on the back of the library and maybe some vinyls or type over the electrical panels and things to brighten that up and make it funner.
Okay.
Yeah, there's other things,
Can
a
that be
bench
moved?
and a bike rack and different things.
Yeah, I guess I think we're all thinking, well, what if the library moves really soon?
Right.
Is that something that's being
Can
talked
we
about and
pause that?
We
considered
did
too?
discuss that. They don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
And or
Yeah,
the
what if we
improvements
do?
would still stay there.
Be there.
The improvements will still be there in the parking lot for anyone to use. They'll still be trash
Part of
cans,
downtown.
the bench, and the musical instruments to enjoy. Yeah.
Behind whatever goes in there.
I love after eating Mexican food, go out there and play some musical instruments.
Can you go back one more slide? Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Sounds good. Any more comments, council?
We have one more slide on here. It's just the summary of our recommendations on what will be spent. So it did fit along with that 70% for city projects, 20% mini grants, and 10% contingency. It fit really well in that.
Okay. Council, unless there's other comments, I'm ready for a motion thanking the committee for their hard work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'll make a motion, Mayor, that we approve the resolution for the Parks, Arts, Recreation and Culture Parks Tax Committee for the recommended funding of the projects, and that we also give them a big shout out and thank you.
I'll second. Oh,
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Proboscard.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Smith.
yes.
Thank you. Motion carries.
Thank you, Park Tax Committee too. Thank you so much. And Sarah, good job. Thank you.
Okay, number 3, resolution, Was that it? That's a different one. Resolution Parks, Arts, Recreation, and Culture Park Tax. That's the one we just did, right?
Yeah.
Okay, number 4. Resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a reimbursement agreement with WHL Hyatt LLC for certain public infrastructure improvements associated with the Hyatt Creek subdivision. Brandon, are you online?
Yes, I am. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
So this is a reimbursement and connectors agreement with Whitehorse Development, the Harans, for the projects that are going near Redbridge. I've gone over with Travis the amounts and with the developer back and forth many times this is reimbursement for the upsizing for the development itself under the reimbursement agreement. And then the connectors agreement is for it's going to be recorded against the properties of adjacent property owners so that they pay their fair share when they go to develop so that it's recorded. That's what all those extra notices are in the packet.
So 4 and 5 are connected in that way, right?
They are, that's correct.
Okay, but we need separate motions for each one.
Correct. The reimbursement is what the city is on the hook for the upsizing of water, sewer drain, storm drain. And then the connectors agreement is what the adjoining property owners would be on the hook for since they're the ones bringing in the utilities first. So they're paying their fair share, and the people that build adjacent to those utilities are paying a pro rata share per linear foot that goes in front of their property.
Council, any discussion on number 4, the reimbursement agreement?
Yes, I don't know if anyone can answer this question, but upsizing, are there even, is this just upsizing what we had planned for, or there are already pipes that are out there? I don't think there's pipes out there already, is there?
It depends on the utility itself. That's why we've gone back and forth several times. But yeah, that's the reason for the another word for the connector agreement is pioneering agreement, since they're the first one bringing stuff out. And so normally for a project, they would be required to do an 8-inch line, but we want it to serve further on down the line. So the city would require 12. So we're paying the difference between 8 and 12-inch line. That's a
Had they
system
not
improvement.
required that, we wouldn't be paying the extra. So
Correct.
okay.
I just have a question, and I assume this, but I just want to ask to make sure. When you guys come up with the number, Brandon, how is that determined? Do we look at what it would cost with another contractor kind of thing to make sure that we're paying an average amount, a fair amount, and not, I guess that's my question is how does it
So
determine that?
the process is we get the invoices from the developer themselves, and Travis goes over the numbers, and there is a verification that does go on. If something seems out of the ordinary or more for what the average has been, I know Travis does call around to different contractors to see if that price is reasonable. So there is scrutiny that does go on.
Okay, that was my question. Thank you.
Okay, unless there's some other comments and questions about number 4, the reimbursement, I'm ready for a motion on that item.
I do have one more question.
Oh, go.
I hate to belabor it, but
You're good.
how long are these agreements for? Do they expire?
So they do expire. We recently amended our code that for 20-year period for the connectors agreement, if nobody develops within 20 years, to the adjoining properties, that connectors agreement would expire, and then the reimbursement agreement, when we pay them the reimbursement amount, we're trying to get on a cycle where we do the impact fee analysis every year and for all the projects that we have coming up, so we know what the proper impact fee rate is. And then the plan is to pay those reimbursement amounts every October for the approved projects that were on that impact fee analysis plan. And so these reimbursements technically wouldn't be paid till October 2027.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mayor, I would make a motion that we approve a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a reimbursement agreement with Whitehorse Hyatt LLC for certain public infrastructure improvements associated with the Hyatt Creek subdivision.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion that has been seconded. We'll start again. Roll call vote with Council Provost Guard,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Hewitt,
Yes.
Council Smith.
Yes.
Good. Okay, then unless there's any remaining questions on number 5 on the connecting agreement, the pioneering agreement, in other words, I'm ready for a motion on that one as well.
So moved. Same.
Okay, second?
I'll second it.
Okay, have a motion have been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Smith,
Yes.
Council Hewitt,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Prosgard.
Yes.
Thank you. That motion carries as well. Number 6, Resolution Hyde Creek Plat A, allowing for stormwater facility as open space. Michael, you ready?
So tonight I don't have a formal presentation. It's a pretty simple request. I'm just going to show you the proximity of the area and then go over the attachments with you to give you a little bit of detail on those and answer any questions you may have. So let me pull up the area just so that it can familiarize you with that. So it's this parcel in blue there. This is the county parcel map. To orient you, where my cursor is up here, this is 800 South. And over here is the MTech campus. This is one of their projects here, Hyatt Creek Plat B, that they're developing now. And then the blue parcel here is one that they've got under review with staff, but they are requesting this detention or storm drain facility as open space, which we've done in the past. We've actually done it in the past for this development here where my cursor is now. And that's one of those attachments that's in your packet. So let me just share the items from the packet, the parcel or the attachments, and we can kind of go over those if you have questions on them. Oops, picked the wrong thing to share. So this is the layout for a townhome development for that site. The area in blue is the area that would be that open space area with the storm drain facility. The next attachment that you have is essentially the same one as this one. It just puts some dimensions to that so you can see approximately how large the area is there. So I'll bring that one up.
Why is that piece on the left whited out?
So that was a piece that they were considering for some development, but they've changed their mind on how they're going to develop that. And so they're going to submit to us as a separate submittal with that.
Okay, and then the green space will be behind the condos in the blue, and I'm sure it'll be a sloping ditch.
It'll be very minor. In the city code, it's required a 5-to-1 slope to be able to be used as an open space. So it would be a very minor slope there.
And
Would it be grass covered as well?
Yes.
Which I've seen before.
V covered or V shaped?
Yes, it would be grass.
So it can be usable.
And that's the intent, is that it's usable open space for them residents there. And they can't have vegetation and things like trees and things in the basin, but they can put it up and around it. And that's what the applicants are potentially going to do with their landscaping plan, which will be submitted with their final plat application. So,
and will the HOA homeowners association take care of maintaining this green space?
From what I
this
understand,
storm
yes.
drain area?
Yes, because it would be private open space for the entire development there. So.
Okay. Thank you.
I have a couple questions for you. So, I'm sure there's drainage, so this doesn't go so high and flood anything, right?
It has to meet the drainage requirements for the city, yes. So.
Okay. And are these are townhomes, or are these lots owned by somebody?
Currently, they're owned by the entire. I mean, none of it's been
Right,
built
they'll be
yet, but
sold.
Yes, they would be sold.
So does this shows blue clear up to the house? Is this retention basin going to be in somebody's yard, or?
The retention basin is the dashed lines.
Okay.
The reason why I outlined it in blue is because in the code it talks about how the detention basin area or retention basin, whichever it is, and the surrounding area, and that's why I was outlining that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
So this one is essentially that same one like I was telling you, but you can see the dimensions on this. The total blue area is quite large, approximately a little over half acre there. You can see the space between townhome units, approximately 57 feet or so. And then the bottom of the hashed area where the basin would be is about 28 feet. And then you can see at the south end, similar sizes there. So,
So to clarify, their front doors.
their front doors are facing
facing
towards the streets.
Oh,
yeah,
they're facing next to their garage.
Yes, so you can see along here, these are driveways. And so their front doors would be facing there.
Yeah, I got the driveway part. I just didn't know where the front doors were.
Yep.
Okay. Is that your presentation?
Yeah, so you can see here the driveways, and in between the driveways would be the front doors there.
So behind those, will they have individual
Backyards?
backyard fenced in areas? And then they have gates out to that open area? Okay.
Can I ask a silly maybe question, but important to me?
Sure.
Okay. Obviously we have these all over Payson. I live by some. How often is there really water sitting in there? As a mom, I'm curious. You laugh, but I'm being for real.
No, I know you're being
Like, okay, like I know, but I'm a mom and it takes this much water for a baby to drown. So I'm just curious, and that's 100% just.
I think it
wanted to know.
depends on water table. I think it depends on time of year. It depends on location. So it's hard to answer that. I would say most of the time it's very little.
And where are the drains, I guess, on this? And they're obviously covered, but like, that's just my safety concerns.
And that would all be according to city specifications.
Okay.
So Lacey, at the bottom of 1400 South on 930, that Jesse Taylor Park, that's a retention pond. Every time it rains a lot, it fills up. But there's a drain and it goes out, but it can stay there for a while.
I was just like, I love that there's open space, but I guess when I first started reading it, and maybe we got a lot this week, so for some reason I remember a fence or something, but maybe that was the dog park. And then I was like, wait, that's not going to be fenced. And so it's just my mom concern, that's all. So
it's a valid concern.
Yeah, sure it is.
There's probably going to be a lot of small children in this development. So
that's why I asked, are they going to have fenced in backyards?
Yeah.
So hopefully that
And-
will rein them in a little bit.
Yeah, I guess, for me, I am feeling okay about this particular scenario, but I do lovingly plead and ask any developer within the sound of my voice that we get more creative with the green space rather than just counting water retention as the green space. I know it's an issue of dollars and cents, but again, to the points that have been made, I would love a field for the kids to play in that's not soggy, right? Because after it does rain, that water does stay there for some time, and I hope we're in a climate where they'll start filling up. But that's just my plea and thoughts, is that we get more creative on the placement of these retention ponds and then have true green space.
I know the Arrowhead development, there's some there that they run into that where it's soggy, their kids can't play in it, they have mosquitoes, and so that's
That's
I-
also Arrowhead. That's a
The
high water
Yes,
table.
Water
but-
level's a little
Yes.
different
But
there.
I'm just saying that was their green space.
And to speak to your comment, Ryan, a little bit, this is part of a greater development that White Horse is doing. So across the street from 1950 is where they're going to have their clubhouse. They're going to have a pool. They're going to have a playground. And so that has actually just gone through staff approval for their preliminary plan. And so they are excited to actually start moving that one forward because it's the amenities, not only for these ones being built now, but that location and this location.
So that'll be completed in the beginning phases of this whole project.
Well,
It'll
Not
be
at the end.
it'll be about I can't remember what it is. There's a development agreement for it, but it talks about a trigger point for when those amenities need to be completed. So talking about the amenities, this is what the applicant shared with us for this area. You can see that they are contributing to doing the trail on the 1950 there. It shows a fenced dog park. I talked with our SWIP supervisor, Dale Carter, and he says that cannot be officially a dog park in there. It has to just be the open space. I think it's just because of waste and that waste can't actually go in the stormwater system. So
the seagulls can't stop on their way out
Okay.
to the landfill.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, one more question.
Okay.
So is this covered in ordinance of what our policy is for open space versus retention ponds where they're trying to, use open space in areas like this? Is it covered at all?
I'm not sure I understand your question entirely. This is a process in which developers can come and ask council for this to be used as open space, and that's covered. And it has the 4 or 5 criteria that I think are in your staff report on this, that it has to meet that in order to.
Okay, I just want to make sure it's covered in ordinance.
So yes. And so they don't have landscaping plans for this yet. Like I told you, they'll do it with final, but this is the Plat B. And you can see the long green space in between. This was the one that was approved for this phase for the same thing. So you can see a similar kind of a layout is anticipated with landscaping and whatnot. So, and you can also see it's actually fairly similar in size. This one in Plat B was approved, and it's actually a little bit smaller than the one that was being proposed tonight. So, any other questions?
I would just make a comment that we're not reinventing the wheel here. Other communities use this a heck of a lot more than we ever have. As green space, open, cool down the rest of the concrete type. We're just not reinventing the wheel is my comment.
Well, and I would just add to that when it makes sense, this is a good idea because it's active, usable space opposed to graveled areas that grow weeds and are ignored and collect garbage and so anyway.
So it makes sense to use it as green space. It's usable. The other you just described is not usable.
I'm sorry, what was that?
This is usable, the rocks and everything.
Yes, and the size of this area, it's reasonable that it could be used as something other than a detention basin and still serve both functions.
Just my last question on this, and maybe the builder can answer. Will this section be irrigated, or are you going to solely rely on water to keep the grass alive? Okay, thank you. Very
good. Okay, I think we're ready for a motion.
Mayor, I motion that we approve the resolution to allow for storm drain facility as open space on Hyatt Creek Plat A as presented to us.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Smith.
Yes.
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 Thank you. Moving on to number F. What's that? I don't hit it. Sorry. I really don't. It must be going off by itself. Okay,
Thanks,
adjourn.
Michael.
adjourn to redevelopment agency. I'll take a motion to do that.
So moved.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call vote again. Council Provostgard.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Hewlett.
Yes.
Council Smith.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution, review and adoption of the RDA fiscal year 2026, 2027 tentative budget.
So
Do we have
moved.
any discussion on that item?
We've already talked about it.
And I did
We've
make
already
my,
talked, yeah.
I made my comments at that
Yeah,
time.
good.
So.
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Mayor,
Okay.
I'd make a motion if we okay?
Yep.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution to review and adopt the RDA fiscal year 2026, 2027 tentative budget as what are we? We're not council members. We are
They're
directors.
Directors, as directors.
So do we have to have a public hearing and state the date and time? So June,
Okay.
since it's in the RDA, we probably ought to have it separate.
Then I'll amend my motion to include a public hearing on June 17th at 6 p.m. at the city center.
Okay.
I'll
Is there a
second it.
Second. Got a second? Okay, as directors, Director Provostgard,
Yes.
Director Moss,
Yes.
Director Rowley,
Yes.
Director Hewlett,
Yes.
Director Smith.
Yes.
Good, a motion carries. Okay, I'll accept a motion to adjourn from the redevelopment agency.
A motion that we adjourn from the redevelopment agency.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded. Roll call, Director Smith.
Yes.
Director Hewlett.
Yes.
Director Rowley.
Yes.
Director Moss.
Yes.
Director Provostgard.
Yes.
Okay, that brings us to H, work session, DeHart property. Michael?
My computer is starting to get low. I had to get a power cord. So tonight we have some developers that are very excited to share with you some plans for the DeHart property. I'm really going to just turn the time over to them and let them share their presentation with you. And we'll just have some question and answer. I think we wanted to have kind of a time limit just for
About
sake
45
of your
minutes if we could.
other business. So I'll just bring the computer up here and get that turned on.
Okay. Walter, is that, you're coming up, are you? Walter Plum? Okay, Walter, come on up. Welcome. Please just come up to the mic. You
That'd
bet.
be great.
Come on up.
Walter, we want to know your name, your shoe size.
As long as you don't ask me my height. I do like that the podium is made for plums.
But thank you.
But so my name's Walter Plum, and I'm with the Gardner Group. This is Jordan Wall. His arms are bigger than my legs. And then I have Eric Langhart here. He's one of Utah's finest planners. And then Spencer Holmes. He's one of the owners of Holmes Homes. And we have to be extra nice to him tonight because he's a resident of Payson of 4 days. So we got to be nice to
Payson.
Spencer today. But we are really excited to be here tonight and thank Michael and Jill. And we've actually been working with the DeHarts for almost 90 days. And so we've gone through a lot of plans. We've been out and visited your staff. I think it is 4 times. And so this isn't something we've just put together in the last week. It's something we've been working on for some time. Oh, yes. Thank you. Marty Larson is here. And so we represent them as well tonight. So I think if it's okay with you, I think we'll just go through our slides and then, we want to honor the limit of an hour and 45 minutes. Just kidding. 45 minutes or less. And then we'll just answer any questions. So we're talking tonight about the South Meadows specific plan. Okay, thanks. I'll do this way then. and again, we're with the Gardner Group, a group that's been around in Utah for just about 50 years. Okay, we're so excited about this property. Every time I drive in from St. George and come down that hill, I hate to say it, but I don't look too much at Santaquin. I come down, and the first thing that catches my eye is that temple, and the beautiful grass fields. I've looked at this property for, I think, 15 years, and that we're actually to a point that we get to be able to be stewards over it, makes us really excited. We believe that this site is anchored by the temple and a village center. And so we want to go over just the site overview, some density summaries, parks, and just a little bit of the vision that we have. So this is the plan that I think, well, was in your guys' master plan for, I don't know how many years, maybe like 10, 12 years. And when we first saw this plan, we came out, we met with Michael and Jill, and we absolutely love it. Whoever was involved in creating this plan, they just did a phenomenal job. In fact, what you'll see tonight is we don't propose to change anything east of that main boulevard that comes through, except for adding more open space and a grand paseo. Sorry, I'm still speaking in Spanish, but down the middle of that property. So our real changes or proposals that we'll show you tonight are for the village center, the high density parcel, and then the property that's against the freeway. On this plan, so this is the, and then we want to, this is the plan that I think was passed just 2 weeks ago on Wednesday. Under the old plan, the DeHarts, when you did the math, they had roughly 836 units. But I wanted to point out that out of those 836 units, 360 of them were on a 24-acre parcel that was high density. So it was really 476 units on 110 acres, which is just 4 units to the acre. On Marty Larson's property, the Spring Lake investment, I do apologize, Marty, don't run up and tackle me. He has 38.48 acres, but on the old plan, he had about 140 units. Okay, so this is the plan that we've been working on. And Eric, maybe I'll have you come up and talk us through this a little bit. He's been working for months on this, and I think he'll do a better job than I will.
Eric, if we could have you come around the front next time. We just don't like people coming behind. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
I apologize.
Thank you. My name's Eric Langvart with Langvart Design Group. We're out of Salt Lake City, and happy to be here tonight. So this land use plan is basically taking what you guys have and injecting maybe I think some of the thoughts that were always contemplated, but maybe the level of detail hadn't quite got there. And so as Walt said, the big picture here is to take the temple site, 2 park sites, a village center site, a big mix of product type that literally ranges from 2 units to the acre to 15 units to the acre. So you're able to get almost everything from a product type in there, minus probably apartments that are 20 or 30 units to the acre within the R15. But the idea is to connect all of these neighborhoods. This isn't a subdivision. We don't envision this as a 10,000 square foot lot after lot. We're thinking about it holistically so that all of these neighborhoods can walk out their door and within steps or a few dozen feet get into this trail system that connects all of those uses. The temple, 2 of the big parks, there are landscape paseos. There's the village center that we're proposing, which is in the same location that your land use had contemplated, as well as a school site. And so when you look at the ability to do a loop through here, and we strategically placed it so that you could go from this park through this neighborhood into this park into the village center, and we'll show you a little bit more detail on all of these, through the community here, the neighborhood on the right, back down through, and then into this landscape paseo that gets you east and right into the temple grounds, or straight south and into the school. You can really see how all of these parts kind of work together. And that's how we're looking at it, is it's not one standoff piece of property that you're going to develop and you wonder what's going to happen on the other side of the street or on the other side of the park. And I can go through a little bit more, Walt, as we get into this, but you know, that's the big idea. And this is the start of that. And we've got a little bit more detail that I'll jump in and out of.
Don't go
as well.
anywhere.
I
Stay
know,
right here. Stay right here. But don't pay attention to how much taller he is than I am. It's
He's hiding.
It's
He's
an
hiding.
optical illusion. It's not real. One of the big things we looked at is we've developed several properties along the freeway, mainly in West Bountiful on the Legacy corridor. And one of the things that we noticed is single family homes against the freeway. One, they tend to be hard to sell. They turn into rentals, and people don't take care of their backyards. And so you end up with these spaces where you see old cars or, you know, overgrown lawns or just people pile junk out there. And so we really wanted to buffer the freeway. And so we expanded that R15 product down all the way along to create a buffer. I've mentioned, well, the product, you'll see some of the product designs, but I think along the I-15 corridor, if you're ever driving up north, Anderson Farms in Linden is a product that we've designed this after. So yeah, you can see a bunch of parks, open space. These are some of the products that we envision for the cottage style. All of the homes on the east of the main boulevard are custom homes. They're executive type homes. So this is, again, mainly on the 44.
Show us with your cursor exactly where you're thinking. Thank you.
Yeah. So all of these would be custom homes here. You know, basically everything along on the east side of this road. So the product you're seeing would be in this area. So this is a mix of, you know, it's this type of product.
Can you, sorry.
Yeah.
Although I appreciate the printout, my eyes are those of a very elderly person and I can't see anything. Can you give me, I know where the temple is.
Yeah.
Can you kind of give me an idea of like, give me some, okay, Walmart's right there. Temple's there. Okay. So kind of like where the turf farm
It is the turf farm. That's the owner's
turf farm.
Yep.
Oh, well, that's a bummer.
Yep.
Okay. I like your turf. I like your sod. Okay. That helps. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. If I can speak for how many years have you farmed that property? 80 years. So it has been an amazing amenity for the community that the DeHarts have, you know, taken care of. But they've come to the end of wanting to farm that, and so we want to replace it and add to the community. I think we showed those. So those are some of the units that would be along the freeway.
Is there a reason why the cottage style was chosen? Is that a preference? I'm just curious. You don't see it often in Payson.
Spencer? Oh, thanks.
Come on up.
I'm not trying to like be rude. I'm just 100% curious. You don't see that in Payson. I think the last cottage around South Utah County is Spanish Fork over by the high school. And so I was just curious.
No, I think, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here. I've never met the landowners, but first I would just, before I answer your question, I would just say just a couple of things. Probably the two most important things you have here is you have one of the finest developers in the state, working on a project with probably the most talented land planner that I've ever done anything with, and I've been in the business for about 30 years. What we've been finding over the last, just say 20 years of my career is the portfolio of product really matters today, because land values have gotten so expensive that builders have had to find more creative ways to make the products more attainable for all the public. And so in this community, the idea is to have the portfolio be as broad as we possibly can, to try and give everybody a place to live and to stay in Payson and to build community. And what you already have in the city of Payson is what is the hardest thing to recreate, and that's the history and the charm. And when you keep the history and the charm, what these kind of neighborhoods are designed to do is to have the walkable communities like you currently have, and bring back yesterday's products, if you will, housing types in this portfolio. So it's really a function of buyer preference and buyer affordability.
Yeah, no, you can't leave. So on the original plan that we showed at the very beginning, I think it was like page 3, that plan showed 8 acres of open space. This plan shows 34 acres of open space. One of the things, and Eric, maybe you can talk about this, the paseo along the corridor with the temple.
Yeah. Yeah. So as we got into it, as I started to say, we started with I don't want to say generic, but we had the land use plan, and we dove into the more detailed plan here. And so that's where we start to understand, the importance of the connections, and the focus on this plan really was about the open space and the trails and the pathways and the connectivity of all those things, of all of those amenities. And so what you see here is we've started to place product types. And within each block, you may have 1, 2, 3, 4 different product types to get that diversity. You might have a townhome that is an alley load that walks out onto a paseo, and around the corner you have one of those cottage lots. And so you give buyers a lot of opportunities and with diversity, but the whole thing is, the fabric is really the open space. And so when we started to dive in here, we were pushing open paseos through development parcels, which is pretty common. They're not going to guess where those are going to go on a land use plan at a bigger overview. But as we get into the details and we start to really place product that matches the densities that Walt had shown you earlier, then we start to inject those little things, those connections, and that's where you start to really get the plan that brings the community connectivity together. And so, yeah, you can see it, and I'll kind of dive into it here. Thank you. I have one of these in my bag, but the battery's always out. So this is the paseo. The temple sets here. And so really a strong emphasis with that connection, vehicular and pedestrian, as you come in from the west to the temple. And then on the west end of that, as we jump, this is the spine road that Walt keeps talking about. This is a 5-acre park. And I know the scale can be a little bit deceiving. But that's a really good sized park. And I heard you all earlier talking about the need for those kinds of spaces. And we'll walk through a little bit of detail on those. Pretty good. And then as you come north, this paseo literally brings you through the neighborhoods and comes up, and then another 4-acre park here that we're calling the Village Center Park. Okay. Yeah. So this is the paseo that comes out of I think we're calling it the South Meadows Park, the 5-acre park, that then brings you up and into this Village Center Park that anchors the west end of the Village Center. And we'll dive into that in a little bit of detail. But this is a 4-acre park. And then, as I said, you can continue through and make your connection back, literally make a loop all the way through there with that open space. And so the 8 acres was set aside initially. The 34 acres is what we're coming to tonight with, saying this is a real plan and these are real open spaces, and the density that we're talking about works within all of this. And it's not all townhomes, it's not all cottage homes, it's a really great mix. And having worked with Spencer and his team over the years, we understand that mix is important for absorption, and it's important for community diversity. Just because you may be an empty nester and you don't want a 10,000 square foot lot with a 6,000 square foot house. You might want a Rambler cottage lot. Doesn't mean that you're going to have to move out of the community. It's all provided for within here in a very systematic, organized way that it all the parts, you know, add up to more than the sum of the whole is more than the sum of the parts for sure.
While you're on that, just a couple of things. One is, I love the view corridor. That's what I always envisioned there. And if you go to Saratoga Springs
Yeah.
and look from Redwood Road up to the temple,
Yeah.
that's the look.
Yeah.
So
I think
that's-
this will look better than this Saratoga
well,
Springs.
that's a nice look. So it's
No, those are all front loaded.
right. Yep. That's perfect. Yep. The other thing is this UDOT going to make you put sound barriers along here? Because that's going to be a real headache if it just.
I mean, Anderson Farms doesn't have them. There's
Okay.
several locations along the I-15 corridor that don't have them. UDOT's UDOT, you know, I mean, they are all powerful. So, I mean,
We would be,
hopefully not.
I think we would be very much in favor of not having them
Yeah,
there.
we would too.
And if we were able to, you know, if we really could zoom into here, what we did was we actually set those homes, they're turned sideways so that they look, here's the interstate on my left, they look at each other, and each one of those are alley loaded and they have their own private green in between there. But we also provided a 50-foot buffer for a loop trail around there. So I haven't even talked about that. This Paseo connecting what I call park to park Paseo is separate. You have another loop trail that goes all the way around the outside of that. So we're not pushing those so close to the interstate that you feel like you need a sound barrier. You know, so we're giving it a little bit of breathing room. Part of the reason we can do that is we're proposing those as townhomes, turning them sideways, as opposed to having your backyard. I mean, we've all driven places. I every time I drive through Cedar City, I can't even imagine some of those houses that are backed right up to the interstate. And so we're trying to really avoid that purposely.
So I appreciate all the work you've done. This is just west of my neighborhood where I've lived for about almost 19 years. And so I know Miss President DeHart from a long time ago. This is kind of a dramatic word, devastating to lose all that open space. And I'm so sorry that you guys have decided to not do this anymore. I understand why, but to fill it up with townhomes and very narrow cottage homes gives it a daybreak-esque look, which is something we do not want. At least personally, I don't want. I don't care for it very much. But I think something on a different note, I think something that people might not know is a long time ago when they were planning the area for the temple, the designers of the temple originally thought that they would just have the front of the temple facing east, and there was not really going to be anything in the back. And then in a planning meeting, and I think Jill might remember, she might have been there. I know I suggested let's have a corridor so you could see it from the freeway, and they decided to make the back side of the temple just as beautiful. And so we really, really need to protect that. I see some things that I'm okay with and other things I'm not okay with. And we can talk about that later, or now, it doesn't matter to me. I think we should decrease the townhomes. I'm not a big fan of diverse neighborhoods because I live in one, and single family homes across from townhomes, hate it because parking is an issue. High turnover is an issue. Townhomes being turned into rentals, whether the developer's intent was for that or not, is a massive issue. Garbage pickup is an issue. I would like to go away from that. I think middle class Rambler single family homes is where it's at because a lot of people my age are going to be aging out of homes with stairs. We want main level living and not narrow yards. Maybe make them narrow front to back, but not side to side. Those cottage homes that we have in Spanish Fork, they were cute at first, but they've kind of become run down and not ideal. I think it's just a trend that's not very popular later. And so as a city council, I would encourage us to protect the look of Payson and the feel of Payson. We know growth is coming, but we need to protect what we want. So that's all I've got to say so far.
Thanks for your comment. I don't know how we're doing on time.
I think I think we just started about 8 o'clock, did we not?
Mhm.
So I think we're okay.
We're okay. Okay, we'll go through a couple more slides and then we appreciate so much your feedback. And I do want to state when we first came in with Jill and Michael on the original plan, you know, we did say that's something we can live with. Like you could do that. Again, you do have some real challenges with the freeway and having single family homes against that against the freeway. This is Eric. I think we.
Yeah.
Anything you'd add on this
No,
one?
I mean, just kind of quickly, this gives you a little bit better sense of the size of this. This is 5 acres. And the idea here is just conceptually to have a variety of opportunities for play, for grass, for maybe hill play on turf. You can see, you know, trees, a tree boss. So you've got picnic pavilions, basically something for everybody. And it's not, you know, it's not just a generic 5 acres of turf that somebody's got to figure out what they want to do other than play soccer. So this gives the entire community an opportunity to be close to a pretty significant park component.
And can I say thank you to that of not just having a bunch of tiny little pocket parks everywhere, but actually having a true good sized park for a community. I really do appreciate
agree with
that thoughtfulness.
I think that's critical. We've got some developments in the city where if you use the park, you feel like it's the neighbor's park.
Yeah.
And would like to avoid that.
Yeah, we want this to be another gathering place for Payson. This is the gateway to our city, as you guys have already mentioned and seen for yourselves. So
I think
thank you.
4 acre parks and 5 acre park do that.
Yep.
Yeah, we would have 2 5 acre parks.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Plus all
Good.
the paseos and all that.
Awesome.
And then they would each have like, as I'm reading, like a playground and this is that the whole town can use it, not just like an HOA park. And is it maintained by the development or is it maintained by the city?
So usually,
In your idea?
usually any parks that are used by the city are maintained by the city. We pay for them. We put them in.
Okay.
The pocket park, if there are pocket parks for like townhouses or single family, those are maintained by the HOA. That's it. Okay, you have a village center on your original plan. We added 1 acre to the village center. And Eric, you want to talk about this?
Yeah, and this is a good slide to show the opportunity for a neighborhood retail center. And so we've built it in this kind of orangish terracotta T intersection to really have the energy. It's not a lot of retail, but it's enough to be supported by the neighborhood and in surrounding neighborhoods. The idea is that this isn't designed to draw people in, you know, from miles and miles away. This is support services, you know, outdoor activities, gathering spaces. And the fun part about this is that it's directly adjacent to this Village Center Park. And so in here, again, you've got the opportunity for varied uses from playgrounds, maybe pickleball, a play field for multi-purpose opportunities. Maybe there's bocce ball, you know, maybe there's some just seating areas where you can hang out at night and enjoy the sunset under a shade tree. But then it's directly related to, and very specifically, that park to park paseo that I was talking about would come in here and you would come through the park. This is anticipated or projected to be a food truck plaza here that you could then spill out to the turf area, or you could continue into some multifamily development on both sides of this, and then a plaza space. So if you've been to Holiday, and I know Walt and his group were involved with the Holiday Town Center. Is it Town Center or Village Center? What do you call it? Holiday shopping that you know, Harmon's, Anchors, and Caputo's. This is that scale. This is that opportunity for the neighborhood to have those kinds of uses in here. It's not a subway. It's not a drive-through. It's a very walkable, in meet, and you can see some of the pictures here where you have people that are mingling in. You shut down part of the street for a festival. Really, just opportunities to get out and be a part of the neighborhood and part of the community. And what we really like is the connection to this park. So it will feel bigger. It's not just this neighborhood center retail that's slammed in the middle of a bunch of housing. You've actually got some breathing room there for those activities to work.
I really like the neighborhood concept, and it can reduce congestion, which is, if we can reduce that congestion, we're miles ahead.
And that's where that connectivity that we've talked about really makes a difference. We'll put a bunch of bike racks in here. People can walk to it. I understand it's Utah, but most Utahns can walk in the snow. Unless I grew up in the Midwest. Winters here, everybody thinks are worse because they've never been here. I said, no, there's nothing. This is a pretty mild winter. So most days you can get out and move. And that's the idea, is to give the people the opportunity to get here from their home without getting in their car and driving. And you don't see giant parking lots here. We're utilizing street parking, which is very traditional in these village center settings, with a little bit of surface parking, provided for bigger events. But the idea is that people are getting here in multiple ways.
What kind of retail do you envision there if you're not trying to bring in people from very far away?
Yeah.
I'm more the commercial guy. Okay, perfect.
So what Harmon's anchored the store in Holiday. And so what they do is they have a 20,000 square foot footprint for more of a neighborhood feel. Trader Joe's would probably be maybe a similar type, but they probably would be too early to come here. They're 10,000 square feet, but it's something like that with the Great Harvest, similar users, or another product type that usually follows Harmon's or something like that, but they do a neighborhood product. And so if you can get that, they anchor that, and then the other ancillary users typically follow. And so when you come like that, it creates a sense of community. They're the anchor, and then you have the pad sites that come. And so you really create the sense of community, sense of arrival. When you have the rooftops that follow, you have people that use their bikes, they kind of are walking, and they have the foot traffic. And so this is really fun. And then you have different events. And so we kind of thought throughout that the city could have different events with the park. So maybe it's a New Year's event, 4th of July event, those types of things that really brings the community together. And then the retail really gravitates off of that. And it's a really fun thing for the city. And Holidays they did a whole new redevelopment around that, and the city's come back to life. And so the Cotton Mall is just down the street, and they're struggling a little bit more because they haven't kind of grabbed onto that scenario. And so those are the types of users that you can typically grab onto, and they really like this type of redevelopment.
So do you see restaurants in there?
Yeah. Yep. You'll have more of you can see the chains. You also have the kind of the smaller mom and pops too. Maybe it's an insurance salesman too that like to have lunch and dinner right in time, so they can go shopping right after too. Really liking to see people that have that type of use that wants to be in those type of communities.
So I have two questions kind of for you, since you're the commercial guy.
You bet.
I guess my first one is maybe a concern, and then I'll ask my question. You keep saying things, and I think to myself every time, well, that's what Payson Main Street does. And that's what Payson Main Street does. And then I worry we're already struggling to keep Payson Main Street alive.
Right.
Is this going to kill Payson Main Street? That's my first, just concern.
Mhm.
Second question, do you, the developer, or who, help bring in these businesses so that we don't have things sitting empty like we do on the outskirts of town? That's I guess, I know that
Great
there's
questions.
thriving places in Holiday. I get
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And it's hard to compare Payson, Utah to Holiday. I just feel like I guess, what's the timeline? Because I feel like this is premature for Payson, but I'm curious, what's your timeline?
So what they do is they typically are followers of the residential. So they always look at the rooftops when the rooftops are coming. And so as far as timing, they're going to follow that. So you're a couple of years out, but they're always planning their stores years in advance. And so to answer your question on the retail on Main Street, retailers are always looking at it's the retail node. And and I know it's a growing community and people struggle with some of that growth, but it also brings in some different opportunities for people and saying, what are they offering that you have in Payson? And so actually it kind of helps boost the retail that you guys will be able to attract here and some of the offering that you have. And actually, sometimes it actually boosts some of the retail that you'll have because other people, they want to be located here, but they may not have the space. And so they'll actually get pushed to the Main Street area because there's only so much square footage that you'll be able to offer here because this is a limited site with only, we're not putting a significant amount of retail here. I think maybe like 40, 60,000 square feet, which really isn't very much when you're anchored by 20,000 square feet of maybe a Harmon's or something like that. And so, what was your second question again?
I mean, just if you guys help bring
Yes.
it or, and then,
Yeah. So we've got projects throughout the state and in Idaho too. And so we work with retailers. We're going down to ICSC, which is the largest commercial conference in the country. And so we're always working with different retailers throughout that are always trying to find new projects. And as the fastest growing state, which we can't help, it's just what's happening in Utah, they're always looking for new sites. And so with the growth that's happening here, they're trying to identify where that growth is going to happen so they can open new stores, because without that growth, they're not growing themselves. And so we would be pitching those types of tenants to say this could be an opportunity. But obviously, this isn't going to be a huge retail site, but it would be something like that that could help. Because a lot of people, you could, rather than jumping in your car, they could walk down, get some groceries potentially, maybe get a bite to eat, and then go back home. And so but it wouldn't be a bunch of traffic that's going to congest the other roads throughout the community. So it's a livable, walkable community.
We're going to ICSC as well, so we'll
I would
be
love
down
to see you down there.
Yes, well, and I think if we, and I thank you for the concern for downtown, but I think if we do it right, that can be something that they can coordinate back and forth and have two vibrant centers if we do it right.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sure, are you sure you're going to donate thousands and millions of dollars for our downtown, right? So
We hope that this isn't our only project in Payson.
Walter, who do I address a question? Is the market trending away from stone or brick?
We showed you some designs of houses.
Yep.
There will be houses with brick. I mean, though we can change the faces of the houses. What I wanted to do is just give you an idea of
a visual
of these smaller units that would go closer to the freeway. Yeah, again, they're only closer to the freeway. Everything else east of that boulevard, are large homes, custom homes. So yeah.
Okay. Personally, I like the design. I like that you're buffering the rest of the project, the rest of the community, in that gold with multiple housing. If that's the place to keep it, I like that design. I like the land use east of the boulevard, if that's what you're calling it, for more executive, more my age, without it being a 55 plus or whatever. I can see a couple little tweaks, but other than that, I really like your design.
Thank you. And any other?
Yeah, thank you. This is not lazy development, and I am thankful for that. Thank you for how thoughtful you've been with that. And I've met with the DeHarts and scrutinized this plan. And I don't want to speak for you, Mark, but I know you've been approached by a lot of different groups for a lot of years. And I just want to mention this is the first one he's felt comfortable with entertaining the idea of selling to them because of what they plan to do. The only seeds I want to plant for Planning Commission as you guys look at this is really protect that view corridor for our temple. And I am okay with some townhomes where they make sense. And to me, right next to I-15 does make sense for townhomes. But again, keeping in mind that those ones that are there do not block the view of the asset that we have of that corridor and that temple view. And then I would also ask that we look at feathering in a few more single family lots as well, mixed in with those townhomes and those higher rise buildings. But I think this plan does have a lot of potential and a lot going for it.
I'd like to echo that as well. I'm excited about the possibilities that this could bring to our community. And, you know, I'm sure that there's some tweaks that you could do for us and that we could ask for. I'm really excited that this could be a very, very good addition to our community.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
I also want to bring to the attention, the numbers say, of all the high density, single family home, executive housing, low density, it says, oh, this includes the high density, 836.
Yeah, that's your
So-
original plan.
Right. And so, my concern is the traffic that it brings this way. Our 800 South, interchange is not ready for this. And we've addressed that with the development on the west side of the freeway as well. It is so dangerous. So I know this is a long time coming. I would like to bring down the high density significantly.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot already. Our roads are so crowded already. I'm not sold on the village square, and I'm not sold on the townhomes. If we do townhomes, don't do them 3 stories. That'll block the view. I'm not sold on alley access townhomes or daybreak style stuff. There are some parts of this I'm okay with, other parts not at all. So
I'll take that. Some parts you're okay
the
with.
part,
I like it.
the
I like
corridor,
it. The corridor.
the corridor.
I agree. The corridor.
I think as far, you know, and I appreciate the concern about, I am concerned about the congestion but I believe that when development happens, those kind of things lag behind a little bit, and there will be some changes that will have to come to our roads to accommodate. But those changes aren't going to come unless the development comes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of say with UDOT.
We did discuss that with them today a lot about the 8 South overpass.
Still 10 years away.
Well, we talked about how we can move that quicker. So tell them all the stuff that's coming in. So
If I can address some of the congestion, this will be a phased project, so it will come on slowly. I mean, it looks all at once, so this will be 10, 15, 20 years. So that will alleviate some of that congestion to where it's not 836 all at once. I mean, so the roads won't be hitting it that, you know, in like the next 2 or 3 years. And so it will allow the city to work on whatever upgrades or whatever that will enable. So just keep that in mind, if I may. And then to your point, Mr. Rowley, that Councilman Rowley, that is the most important thing for us, is to maintain those corridors, specifically to the temple. And so we really want to preserve that too. So
I think we have about a 3 to 5 year window with working with UDOT to take care of some of those traffic concerns. So that's reassuring that it'll be over a period of time.
yeah, it's what the market needs to absorb. And so, of course, we can't just build it all out at once.
Does the builder, the homes, does he plan on, because 20 years is a long time, do you plan on wanting to do the 20-year stretch, or is
You're
this?
not looking at him and saying he doesn't have 20 years.
That's
in
not
him.
what I'm saying at all.
I think
She insinuated it.
No, that is not it at all. I'm just saying.
This is a big project.
Yeah,
There would
so-
be multiple buildings.
Okay,
It wouldn't be just one.
Okay, so then it would just
would
be
be
up
the
to
master.
us as making sure that they all followed the original plan.
It's important the staff, we enter a really good, solid development agreement with the first parties that protect us for secondary parties.
Okay. Well, I think we've had a really, really good,
Mayor, if I may,
Oh,
I have
yes.
one more comment.
Go ahead.
On the cottage homes, I think there was a comment made that that's the market and there isn't really a lot of other options. I would have to disagree. I grew up in St. George. They're doing it in St. George now. They're doing Ramblers. They're doing 1,900 square foot, 4-bedroom homes
There's
that are
lots of
affordable.
different options. I agree with you.
So-
This is just putting up some pictures
Okay,
so you
good.
can see the size.
You're not sold on these.
No, I think- I
Because
think-
I am not even close.
I think that, you know, just to go back to some of your comments earlier about being more creative, I think that the design and the purpose of having multiple products is to try and break up long runs of townhomes.
Yep.
Right.
To be honest. So instead of having a run of sixplexes, we have to get creative with our product and our planning. And so some sit on parks, some sit on paseos, some are townhomes, some are duplexes, some are threeplexes. And we try and eliminate these big long runs of townhomes. In order to do that,
Or
you have
just
to
do single family homes.
you have to
Just
get
do normal neighborhoods.
creative with some of it. Yeah, and I appreciate your concern. I think one of the things that we're just trying to address is we're trying to get everybody into homes. I'm a builder, and my son currently today lives in a townhome. And the reason he lives in a townhome is because it's all he can afford, even with his father being a townhome or a builder. And so there is a need, and done correctly, I think is the most important thing. And my comment earlier was just to suggest to do it right, you're running with the right people. And if we participate, we recognize 80 years. We want to contribute, be a contributing partner that leaves a legacy, something that your family is proud of. Quite frankly, it's something that can stand the test of time and be around forever. So, you know, that's the motivation behind all of this. How do you do this, something of this scale, but do it right so it does last? And
You only get one try at it.
you get one try at it, and you're running with people who've done it before.
Because neighborhoods don't just get bulldozed.
And
just because.
and they have to be done right, and the product mix is vital to making it, you know, look and feel like a neighborhood, and making it walkable and keeping views and all of that. The product plays a very important role in that.
Well,
Thank you for
So,
acknowledging.
so I got
go
I
ahead.
got a quick question. So you talked about if there's pocket parks or things like that, having HOA. Are you going to have like a master HOA and then HOAs and smaller HOAs, or how are you going to handle that?
I don't know that that's been 100% contemplated, but oftentimes they'll do a master association and then benefited areas. So this area pays the master fee plus X for this benefited area where they are at, and trying to eliminate the need for a master plan and then sub HOAs.
Which is a problem in Daybreak when you try to sell a townhome or sell a home.
HOAs, if you can do a benefited area, I think it's overall better.
This isn't a Daybreak design.
You better not.
No, it's
This
not.
is much more. I appreciate the DeHarts vetting several different developers over the last period of time and settling on somebody that is very reputable and very gonna stand with what they develop. So thank you guys. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Good.
Yep.
Because it'll be around your home. Yes.
You have to sell a sod cutter because I don't want to see Mark going in these 5-acre green spaces and cutting sod.
Well, you know,
I know.
you know, we've had a very good discussion, and I very much appreciate your professionalism. I'm very excited on a personal level, and as the mayor, and believe the council is excited to work with you.
We appreciate all your comments back.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll take them back and try to come back with some other thoughts. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your time too.
Thank you.
So thank you for letting us.
Okay, the next thing on our agenda is and it's to adjourn to a closed meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I've lost track which side is going, roll call votes. Okay, roll call vote. Lacey,
Yes.
Brian, you, yes, I think. Ryan
Yes.
and
Yes.
Bob.
You bet.
Okay,
Or yes. How do you say
yes.
that?
Yay.
Guess we're going to adjourn today.